actually the southern network. So networks have been running in South Australia a bit longer than the new one for Central Adelaide and Northern and so forth. So it'll be interesting to hear her perspective on that, I think.
Thank you, Jo, and thanks for inviting us to come tonight. So I'm one of the medical education officers with Southern Adelaide Local Health Network, and I've just got a bit of information about our rotations and our processes that we use at AMSS. So we've been operating, as Jo said, in the network model for several years now. And what this means for you as trainee medical officers is that we have a centralised trainee medical officer unit, which is based at Flinders Medical Centre, where we have a regional manager, Mary Catchard, who's here with me this evening. And I'm based at the medical education officers are based at Flinders Medical Centre, and then we have outreach services supporting our TMOs across our other sites. So we have clinical training coordinators based at both Noarlunga Health Service and the Repatriation General Hospital. What we can offer for you is a very wide variety of clinical experiences and a very broad range of rotations, which I will list for you in a moment. We have our regional manager of the Trainee Medical Officer Unit, a director of clinical training, and the medical education officers all there to support you. And we are readily available to look after you and always advocate on your behalf. Just so you know, this year we had 53 of our interns from Flinders Uni, and 15 have come from Adelaide and 5 from interstate. So if you do come to Southern Adelaide Local Health Network, there will be other people, quite a few other people coming from outside as well. So interns are allocated to rotations across our multiple sites within our network. So Flinders Medical Centre is obviously the largest site that we have, and every intern will generally do at least a rotation or multiple rotations with Flinders Medical Centre. But then most interns will also do a rotation off-site as well. So that might be at Repatriation General Hospital, Noarlunga Health Service, or our general practice placements, which are Urban at Aldgate in the Hills, and then we've got Berry, Coorong, Jamestown, Murray Bridge, and Victor Harbour. And Berry and Murray Bridge are both classified as GP and core emergency department rotations, so you can do a core emergency rotation in a country general practice site with us. So in terms of how we allocate you to your rotations, so as David said, we had 73 interns this year. And I manage the allocation of all of the intern rotations. So we certainly do look closely at the preferences that you submit to through SAIMET in determining where you'll be placed. And I'm pleased to say that this year, pretty much everyone got their first preference for their rotation. I can't make a promise for next year because it depends on what everyone submits, but this year we were able to do really well, and I think the only area that people didn't get their first preference was in paediatrics because we had far more applicants for that as a first preference than we had positions available. But in general, everyone got their first preference, which is wonderful, and we certainly do consider how you rank all of your preferences. So when you go to do that this year, make sure you put some thought into that so that I can get the information that I need. The allocations are obviously designed to ensure that all interns meet the ARPA requirements for registration at the end of their internship, and also to ensure that all interns receive a fair and balanced educational program throughout the year. Applicants who are looking at highly popular rotations like paediatrics, we suggest that you might want to consider submitting an expression of interest that we can consider in making those allocations. This year we had 19 people preference paediatrics first, and we have 10 positions available, so 9 missed out. So we have to go through a process there. This year the allocations will be done between October and December, and you will know if you are coming to SALHN by December, you will know your rotations. So at Flinders Medical Centre, we can see these are the rotations that we have. I've got the medical terms on the left there, acute care of the elderly, the acute medical unit, cardiology, gastroenterology, general medicine, infectious diseases and dermatology. So that's a combined rotation where you'll get exposure to both specialties: respiratory, stroke, obstetrics and gynecology, paediatrics, Psychiatry at the Margaret Tobin Centre, obviously our emergency department. We have 3 service terms which are relieving, surgical nights and medical nights. And then you can see our surgical terms at Flinders Medical Centre are cardiac surgery, colorectal surgery, ear, nose and throat and urology, again that's a combined rotation, hepatobiliary, esophagogastric, orthopaedic, plastic surgery and vascular surgery. So you can see we've got a really broad range at Flinders Medical Centre alone. If we have a look at Repatriation General Hospital and Noarlunga Health Service, at the REPAP we have gastro and rheumatology, again another combined rotation, geriatric evaluation and management, general medicine, respiratory, general surgery, psychiatry and urology as a surgical term. At Noarlunga we have our other emergency department, general medicine, psychiatry and surgery. In doing your preferences, I'm not sure if the process is going to be exactly the same as last year in terms of the forms that you submit. But last year the interns were asked to submit any details if they wanted specific periods of leave throughout the year. What we do at SALHN is that all interns will receive 2 weeks of annual leave allocated during their emergency department rotation. So please keep that in mind. Because that's one of the things that I'll consider in making your allocations, and when I give you emergency is if you need leave for something specific, then I'll try and allocate you to the emergency department at that time so we can try and accommodate your needs. We strive to be an employer of choice and a flexible and happy working environment for all our staff. So we will, and in managing the leave for you all and the rotations, I will do my utmost to meet your requirements where I can. Obviously, in some circumstances, I can't make everyone happy, but I will always do my best, and where I can, I will meet your needs. And also, the other thing that you might want to consider, this year we had some people who perhaps specifically wanted to do emergency at Noarlunga. You can put in the comments section when you do your preferences, if you've got specific requests for locations, then certainly put that information in and I can consider that in doing those allocations. Our educational program at SALHN is basically designed to align with the Australian Curriculum Framework for Junior Doctors and ensure that across the PGY1 and PGY2 years that you will meet all of the requirements that are set out under that. We provide a 5-day orientation program at the start of your intern year, which is basically designed to assist you in the transition from being a medical student into your professional clinical practice. We have weekly tutorials for interns, which is protected teaching time on a Tuesday where we provide lunch for you all. We have simulation workshops. Obviously, we're co-located with the Flinders University School of Medicine, and we use the clinical simulation lab there, and all interns get the opportunity to do 3 simulation sessions throughout the year, which is always highly valued. We also offer procedural skills training for interns. We encourage interns to attend medical grand rounds, and there's obviously also rotation-specific educational programs depending on where you'll be located, and that's all in addition to the ward-based and bedside teaching that you'll experience. In terms of support for interns, we do like to think that we're a very supportive environment for you all. We have 2 medical education officers, which I am one, and our other MEO, Therese Roberts, couldn't be here tonight. The good thing is that our MEOs, we have a diverse set of skills. We both come from different backgrounds. So my background is public health and higher education, and the other MEO, her background is as a clinician. So we can provide you with different perspectives. We have 2 half-time medical education registrars who are always available to provide clinical guidance and mentorship to interns, which is excellent. Our Director of Medical Services, Sharon Morton, is an excellent advocate for interns and their needs. We have a Regional Director of Clinical Training, Shantha Joseph. We have a Director of GP Training who's available to support those that want to pursue a career in general practice. And we have our centralised training medical officer unit, which combines both human resource and medical education functions for you, located at Flinders. So we provide mentoring and pastoral care support for interns. We conduct regular progress interviews with all interns throughout the year just to see how they're going and whether they're struggling with anything. and anything that we can support them with. And we have a very welcoming and friendly and supportive environment where you can always come and see us. So I've just put my contact details up there and Mary's as well as the regional manager. And I have a couple of Adelaide University graduates who are doing internship with us this year, Kerry Ann and Dana, who are just going to give a brief overview of their experience doing internships so far with SA/LHN. So thank you.
Alright. I guess it's a very exciting time being in sixth year and you should enjoy it. So first up, be excited for the entire year that's ahead. Also, just to make note, we were the first year that people in the first category of allocations didn't get their first preferences or even second preferences, and it did drop down to their third preferences. But in speaking to every one of our year, especially at our graduation last week, everyone's loving their internship no matter where they are. And I think it's a really important message to take away. There's going to be ups and downs across that allocation process, but regardless of where you end up, you're going to have a great time. And for us, we chose to go to Flinders, and we have this entire pool of new friends now that we've met, and it's great, and you're learning from them, and I think they're learning from us as well. And it just really gets you thinking about your communication skills in a team that you're not so familiar with. I guess the rotations that we've got this year, I started on Gen Med. I'm now on a relieving term. I'll follow up with colorectal, then Noarlunga ED, and then paediatrics at the end of the year. There's certainly a very strong teaching vibe at Flinders. Every single unit has specific meetings, radiology meetings. Even the Gen Med rotation started their own internship teaching that we attended and presented to the interns and the consultants and fed back on topics for short calls when you're doing after-hours services. I'm very glad I chose the Southern Adelaide Health Network. It's, as has been mentioned, it's been a health network for quite a while. I relieved at REPAT and it was incredibly welcoming. I'm headed to Noarlunga next week for relieving, and you get an email early on already to know exactly where you've got to be, how your car parking goes, everything. And yeah, I don't know what Kerry Ann wants to say, but
hi guys, I remember sitting here last year thinking, oh my god, I don't know where I want to go. And in the end, I guess I wanted somewhere different than the RAR because I'd had so many rotations there, and I was like, oh, time for something different. And Flinders, I think I freaked out a little bit thinking, oh, I don't really know the hospital, don't really know anyone going there, but I love it. I'm so glad I put it down. Everyone's been so supportive and welcoming, and like my future career path, I want to apply for GP training, and pretty much straight away the GP training coordinator got in touch with me and was like, hey, what do you need? Let's go this way, let's do this. So yeah, it's been like, they really focused on where you want to go and try and get things to suit you. In terms of rotations, I started off in ED, and I'm now down at Noarlunga in Gen Med. After that, I've got orthopaedics, then I'm out at Jamestown for a PT Triple P, and then I've got an obstetrics placement at the end of the year. ED, I guess, is similar to Gen Med. They started up their own teaching program for junior medical officers, and it's really well supported. I kind of freaked out a little bit as well, thinking, oh, ED starting, what if something goes wrong? But nothing went wrong, it was great. That didn't kill anyone. Yeah, there's consultants around all the time, checking up on you, making sure you're doing the right thing. You've got management plans in progress, but you still get to, I guess, think, which is nice. You're not just a student running around doing this. And Gen Med down at Noarlunga, once again, new hospital, learning new systems. Takes a little while to settle in, to get to know everyone, but they've all been so welcoming, and yeah, like it's just been really good. So, yeah,
I don't know if there's any questions specifically to us, but all of the Adelaide grads who have gone to Flinders are loving it. They're all incredibly happy with the rotations that they've been allocated. We've all got a mix of being at Flinders and off-site, but it hasn't really deterred anyone at all. And it's quite flexible in that if you are able to find someone to swap a rotation with if you desire, and they also, then you're able to do that if it matches up. Yeah?
Social activities amongst other gymnasial staff.
I think the only reason anyone, like, yeah, everyone says, well, what about the social life at Flinders, but you see people on the wards all day and you're chatting away to them, and the interns catch up about every 2 weeks to 3 weeks for drinks on Friday night, and then beyond that there's their own RMO society. We've got a quiz night coming up. They've had multiple sets of drinks already this year.
I think that's a yes.
It's fun.
You can see all the interns at intern teaching as well and have your little catch-up time over lunch and stuff.
And your friends from med school will be your friends. Just because you move somewhere else, they won't.